The lore of Elden Ring is definitely difficult to interpret, because when we look at the stories that are found in these games, they're not only told through the item descriptions, they're told through every aspect of the game. We have to piece together character dialogue, environmental storytelling, written text, and even then there's still a lot of things left to theory. So it's kind of a surprise that one major aspect of the gameplay is left out when interpreting the lore, and that is the music. Because when we think about how meticulously these games are crafted, we have to also consider that the music is made with intention. So today we're going to dive deep into one of the OSTs of the game, one of the more memorable ones, to translate the story beyond the music. And the one we're going to look at today is Godrick. As you all know, Godrick is a character that we've researched extensively on this channel. So this video will be presented with the idea that you have a basic understanding of his lore, although I will be communicating the lore to you as it pertains to the music. And with that in mind, let's dive into the OST bit by bit. So take a listen to the beginning. The first observation we need to make about this music is that the key is in C harmonic minor. It's a fearful tone, one that's meant to make the listener uneasy, perfectly fitting for the sight we see in Godrick the Grafted. But if we take a look at the instruments in use right at the beginning, we'll notice the harsh notes being played on the stringed instruments, high and terrible, as if they're the screams of the many souls grafted onto his form. But as the song begins to reach its first crescendo, we get our first taste of the time signature that's going to be prevalent throughout the OST. The song appears to be in 7/8 time, rhythmically complex just like the form of Godrick with his many grafted limbs. The beat is hard to follow, so too is his form hard to look at. It appears to have an underlying rhythm, but with the sharp and dramatic eighth notes happening on the downbeats, it's almost as if the song is stumbling. There's a regal tune that wants to come out, yet is hindered by the sporadic beat. Godrick wants to be a noble king. He wants to prove his blood of the golden lineage, yet always finds himself coming up short, always stumbling through his rule. He has the semblance of a proper ruler. This is demonstrated by the drums and the marching beat found beneath the song. The drums are those that would choose to follow him. Just as the beat is imperfect, so too are his soldiers. The snares are his foot soldiers, the bass drums are the pumpkin heads, and the banished knights the heavy artillery. But while they attempt to march together, as I explained, the beat is imperfect. The soldiers that Godrick chooses to bolster his ranks with are exiles, banished knights, the unwanted that can never form a perfect march. And just as Godrick stumbles through his reign, his army stumbles under his guidance. But the music seems to take a form of a mock waltz. There is a song to be uncovered here, a dance, and it's representative in the way Godrick fights. Using his axe as a propeller for the storm is almost indicative of a conductor waving his wand. He does a lot of spinning, moving in a way guided by the music, but he is not represented alone within the music. Found atop the melody is the choir. The choir are the many souls that comprise his form, the countless tarnished slain for grafting, and the denizens of Limgrave oppressed under his rule. The main theme of the music in the first phase of his fight is dissonance. The music isn't a battle, it's Godrick locked into a dance, with his desire to be a rightful ruler, and his unslakable thirst for power. He is an insecure king, constantly trying to impress his forefathers by any heretical means possible. That is why the music seems to be in a constant lock, unable to find its identity with the melody, and constantly afflicted by harsh notes. The music is his legacy, but stained by his own hand. But the music undergoes a harsh change once we reach the second phase of this fight.
Truest of dragons. Lend me thy strength.
The music is delivered unto greater heights. Godrick has unlocked a newfound strength through the grafting of the dragon. But you may notice in the music, even though the tone of this section is generally higher, there's a much more frequent and dominant use of bass. The male voices in the choir take the forefront, because Godrick has just now grafted something onto himself that is both older and stronger than the souls of the tarnished. Because the dragon represents the primordial age, a time long before the golden lineage that Godrick clings to so dearly, and as the strength of Godrick becomes more powerful, the song becomes less contained. The power begins to consume him. He begins to laugh as he grabs you in the dragon's mouth. As the strings play these crazy rhythms and notes, Godrick begins to skirt the line of insanity. As the rhythm of the song becomes more and more wild, like a fire raging out of control, Godrick quite literally finds himself playing with fire. He's now tapped into a strength that he will never be able to fully tame. Just as the song continues to climb higher and higher, Godrick is constantly reaching to meet the strength of his kin, the other demigods. They were born with power, but Godrick must build his up limb by limb, constantly trying to grow more and more powerful to reach that favor of his forefathers. But even though the song continues to grow louder and higher and louder and higher, it never actually finishes on the regal note. In the end, it was the theme of doom that won over. The melody is not the finishing part of the song. Instead, the OST chooses to end on the march and the bass, representing that the only way Godrick's legacy will be remembered is by his sins. But guys, that's going to pretty much do it for the video today. I hope this helped you understand Godrick a little more and add a new layer to the lore of interpreting the music that I feel doesn't really get the attention it deserves. But this video was made possible thanks to my friend Chordvessel, who helped me understand the theory behind the music in this, because I am no music expert, but I felt like these findings were important to articulate. But I can't recommend checking out Chordvessel's channel enough, since he makes rock music based on the lore of Souls. The new album's coming out soon, so definitely go show them some love for me. I'll have it linked down in the description. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you in the next one.